Hi everyone, welcome to my family literacy backpack reflection. So I'm going to start off by kind of reviewing what I put in the backpack, some of the activities, and then I'll go over the family feedback form. So let's get started. So first off, the first book I had was If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, all-time great story, right? The mouse gets a cookie and then it has all sorts of demands, teaches kids about cause and effect, just kind of a fun story. Also included The Very Hungry Caterpillar. This is a good one, teaches about how caterpillar turns into a butterfly, and it's involved with my theme of loving to eat, so it fits well there. And then lastly, Hangry, a book everyone can relate to because everyone's been hangry, once or twice. Also relates to the theme of loving to eat, so I think it fits well in the backpack. And then here, just a couple add-ons I had in there. Write the Chips Ahoy cookies for If You Give Mouse a Cookie, and then just some of the art supplies for some of the projects I'll talk about in a bit. So now let's head over to the family feedback form. So I intended grade level for this backpack is like between first and third grade, probably more towards the first grade end of things. And like I said, the theme was loving to eat. I gave mine to the McNeil family. It's actually some family friends of mine. The daughters in second grade, Riley McNeil. And so let's go over some of their feedback. So first of all, a lot of strongly agrees and agrees. Nothing really too negative here. I think, the only one, like the journal, maybe not, they didn't strongly agree with because I think journal responses, especially for the parent, can get a bit old quick. And then the last one down here, we plan to find our own theme related books and explore doing more activities like this on our own. I'll actually address at the bottom, but I think that kind of relates to their difficulty finding books that relate to themes of Riley's age. So as far as the activity they liked the most, it was the egg carting caterpillar. And when stated, it was because she's getting art, love painting her own caterpillar. So what I did, I included a little art project with the backpack that let kids paint or make a caterpillar out of egg cartons, and then I had all sorts of stuff to make it look like a caterpillar. But anyways, I think this is a fun way, for kids to tie in their reading to an actual activity. They're more likely to remember it if they got to do something fun afterwards. I know growing up, whenever we did something, a fun activity related to the book, then I was more likely to remember the book and the theme of the book and everything. So, and that's good for young readers too, because one of the biggest things when you're learning to read is if you can understand the storyline, it's very helpful, right? So if they can have something to relate it to, then definitely can help. As far as critiques for the backpack, I kind of saw this one coming, but they said check with the parents before including certain snacks. As I said before, I put in some Chips Ahoy cookies, because I think that's fun to eat when you're reading If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. As I said, they don't normally let Riley have those too many sweets, but yeah, so that's something I'll do in the future. And if I was in a classroom environment, I probably wouldn't be putting food in there anyways, just for allergy concerns. But definitely something I will do at the parent's discretion going forward. And then as far as in order to improve this backpack, this was interesting. It kind of tied to something up on the top here, but including a book suggestion list. And I kind of had this thought a little before doing this project is, right, we get these kids into reading these backpacks, and then, where do you go from there? So I think this is actually really good feedback, because I think if I were to do it again, right, I'd have a book suggestion list maybe that's tied into that theme also. So then the kids could keep going along that theme of something they're interested in while still being introduced to new content. So for example, like Laura Numeroff, who writes If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, has a whole series of those. If you give a moose a muffin, if you give a pig a pancake, and then she has a whole tons of series. So I think those would have been good suggestions. So yeah, and then as a whole, like I talked to him briefly, so, some of the stuff they didn't write down, and it sounded like they enjoyed it. Me being this was my first go around with creating really a lesson for anyone, so it was a bit intimidating, but I think I got some pretty good feedback, and I'm looking forward to doing this again. Like I said, I thought the whole process as far as research was super beneficial because I saw what other people do in their classrooms and how I could maybe apply that to my future classroom. So all in all, definitely enjoyed this project, and I could see myself using it in the future. Thank you for listening to my video, and hope you learned something about my backpack. Thank you.